Max world, what do you think? That video brings back a lot of old memories. All you young fellas out there with that good-looking head of hair, it may not always be that way. Enjoy it while you can. This is a wonderful turnout. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. We've got Jerry's parents, Rod and Vicki Keller, here from Naperville, Illinois, over here. Make sure I do this right. And Aunt Diane and cousin Jesse from Omaha. So we took this opportunity to have a good Western family reunion there. I want to tell you how special this day is for us. Special for me, special for my family. This is the first event of the first day of our campaign for the presidency of the United States. How special. It is so appropriate that we are right here, because in case some person somewhere in the United States of America does not know this, it all begins in Iowa, and that's where we want to live. My friends, I am not here today because I have had a lifelong ambition to hold the office of the presidency. Nor do I think that I have all the answers for the problems that face this country. I don't think any person does. But I am a man who loves his country, who is concerned about her future, and knows that in the next years it's going to require strong leadership. Decisions are going to be made on this next president's watch that's going to determine the course of our country for many years to come. And I am determined that we make the decisions that will leave us a stronger nation, a more prosperous nation, and a more united nation. And that's why I'm running for the presidency of the United States. This whole process for us started around our kitchen table just a few months ago. Now we got a lot of process talk about, oh, you can't run for president of the United States unless you run for years, unless you raise, I think some of the pundits said $100 million this calendar year. No possibility of that. But the more we looked at it, the more I thought that something special was going on in this country. The more I looked around my house, the more it occurred to me what kind of world these kids are going to grow up in. These kids are my grandkids. What kind of country are they going to have when they get a little older? Then I thought, how often does a man have a chance to do something about that? So we tested the waters, just like we said. We went out to make sure what I was feeling was actually there. And I think it is, my friends. I think that the American people have opened up a door of opportunity. There have been doors that you can see from my background all along my way, because I was so fortunate to have a wonderful family, wonderful parents, and wonderful people who oftentimes saw more in me than I saw in myself all along my way. And those doors occasionally would open up, and occasionally I'd walk through one because it was a challenge. Sometimes a personal one, sometimes one for my state, sometimes one for my country. I feel this is another door to serve the country that I love. So the preseason is over. Let's get on with it. Folks, there are very serious issues that are facing this country, and it's time for some serious conversation about it. I think the American people are ready for that. I think they're ready for frank conversation. I think they're ready for a forthright conversation, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We don't know how to do it any other way. It's not worth doing any other way, unless you can do it that way. And we're going to make sure that at the end of the day, if the good Lord is willing, we'll be victorious. But there's one thing I think that we can guarantee, And that is, at the end of this campaign, by doing that, we will have done something good for our nation, and our country will be better off for this campaign. And I hope you will help me do that. That is my goal. As you've seen in this little video, I thought about just running that video again instead of making a piece of it. I kind of like that. But my story is an American story, one that's happened so many times across this great nation of ours, where a kid of modest means in a little town without a whole lot of resources, even a whole lot of ambition, when he was a kid, had the opportunity to do some great things for his family, and hopefully some good things for the people of Tennessee and the people of this country. I've seen it from a lot of different standpoints. I've seen it from the factory floor when I was working the grain yard shift, and we'd have lunch there from the change of the shifts, and I'd be ankle deep in water there at the Murray bicycle plant where I was running a machine that was so loud I couldn't hear myself yell if I wanted to. And I've had the opportunity to dine with foreign leaders in foreign capitals around the world, and just about everything in between. And one of the things that I focused on kind of early was what I consider to be the most important thing having to do with my country and my country's future. And as the years pass by, unfortunately it gets more and more important. That is our nation's safety. That is the men, women, and children of this country, and where it's going to be a few years from now. We're living in an era now of the suitcase bomb. We're living in an era now of the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, where a small amount of the wrong kind of material getting in the wrong hands can do destruction that was never thought possible before. And they're more likely than ever to fall into the hands of our worst enemy. Radical Islam has declared war upon us. Some years ago, people didn't pay much attention to it. We didn't even recognize the fact that that had happened. But we know it now. They look upon it as something that's been going on for hundreds of years, and as far as they're concerned, they're willing to take it another 100 years as they methodically move forward, massacring innocent people, bringing the Soviet Union to its knees, and they considered the tougher opponent, and now focusing upon us and all those who would befriend us around the world. Iraq is a part of that conflict, but Iraq is not that conflict. That conflict will be with us, unfortunately, long after Iraq is in our rear view mirror. And the whole world watches and waits as the determination of the American people is tested. My friends, if we show weakness and division, we will pay a heavy price for it in the future. We must show the determination that we are going to be united as American people and do whatever is necessary to prevail not only in Iraq, but in the worldwide conflict that lies beyond Iraq. We have the bravest young people in the world fighting for us, and we have to match their commitment and determination here at home. You talk to them in hospitals, the ones even been grievously wounded. Their biggest concern, the ones I've talked to usually, is getting back with their folks that they left back, and concerned that their wounds are so great that they might not be able to be allowed to do this. Magnificent. And every waking moment of a commander-in-chief should be to make sure that people like that efforts and their families' sacrifices are not made in vain. Meanwhile, back at home, the politicians have been quite busy spending the next generation's money. Pretty soon we'll have spent the Social Security surplus, and the baby boomers will start retiring just in a few years from now, the next president's watch. And of course it skyrockets from there, and it will result in astronomically high deficits, a tax burden on the next generation and generations to come, and a ruination of our economy. Every economist who's looked at this, including our own government officials who